Let's assume you had something to do. You had to go to work, go to the gym, or just do something, but you didn't have your car. Or maybe you didn't want to use your car and you wanted to use public transportation. This is not uncommon, guys, especially if you're in big cities. Sometimes you want to catch the bus or catch the train and just kind of get out and enjoy the city. And typically the buses in your town or the trains in your town come every 10 to 15 minutes, right?
He's right, you know.
Exactly. And so there you are, waiting. And you're seeing the buses going the opposite direction across the street, but your bus is not coming.
Damn.
And then the time keeps going and going and going and going. And then it's been 2 hours. You've lost all that time and you decide that, hey, this bus isn't going to come. So you decide that you are going to possibly walk or maybe even catch an Uber. But then later on that day, you found out this.
The Office of Inspector General found that supervisor and employee were having what it called romantic interactions both on the city bus and during working hours. But the even bigger problem, according to this report, is what happened after that relationship was discovered.
See, guys, here is a story of Andre Reese and Dana Ruff. I don't really have a picture of Andre Reese, but I do have a picture of Dana Ruff. And Dana Ruff is a fine ass bus driver. I mean, look at her. The problem is that she is in a relationship with her boss. And well, what is she doing with her boss?
It started with an anonymous complaint back in June alleging that a senior transportation service inspector, Andre Reese, and bus driver Dana Ruff engaged in indecent activity on a city bus. An investigation by the Office of Inspector General uncovered video footage from May 6th showing the two fondling each other on a bus. It found Reese then reported an unsubstantiated mechanical issue with the bus, took the bus out of commission, and took Ruff to a fast food restaurant, disrupting service for 115 minutes. On May 20th, it says Reese and Ruff again met up multiple times during Ruff's route and at one point abandoned the bus while it was still running. That day, DDOT received a complaint via a customer assistance form about the abandoned bus, but Inspector General Kamal Marable says leadership didn't investigate it properly.
You see, Dana Ruff and Andre Reese are in a relationship with each other, but they shouldn't be in a relationship with each other because it's actually against the rules. And so instead of just not being in a relationship with each other, they're doing all kind of stuff like, filling on each other inside the bus, which they shouldn't be doing. And then at one point, Dana Ruff, the actual driver of the automobile, what is she doing? Well, she is using the bus or parking the bus to take her boyfriend, which is her boss, out to eat to a fast food restaurant while the people who are waiting for the bus are just standing out there, maybe in the cold or in the rain when the bus isn't coming.
Damn.
But then, as you guys probably know, somebody told on them because they actually saw this stuff happening. And when they were told on, well, as you can figure out, this happened.
We found out that the supervisors who were responsible for dealing with this type of issue were very lenient in their response to it.
DDOT Superintendent Howard Bragg classified their actions as a Class 4 offense, which would normally be punishable by a 30-day suspension followed by termination. Instead, he gave them both 5-day suspensions. Marable says he never reviewed the video footage of the two inside the bus.
For some reason, this individual only chose to review the footage basically from outside of the bus and not the full interaction. So we found that very problematic.
So the OIG, or the Officer of the Inspector General, is an independent oversight body, right? And it's like an inside of a government entity, which their job is to do a few things. Number one, investigate misconduct, fraud, waste, and abuse. review whether agencies follow laws and policies, audit operations for efficiency and accountability, and then issue public reports with findings and recommendations. Well, what happened was, in the case that I mentioned with, Dana Ruff and Andre Reese, well, they investigated the conduct of the DDOT employees, but reviewed the video evidence and records. But the problem is they didn't review the footage inside of the bus.
Damn.
And really, if they would have reviewed what happened inside of the bus, what they would have found was this is a category 4 or 5 situation according to them. And according to the city of Detroit, they would be put on a 30-day suspension, and it will follow up with them being terminated. But that didn't happen. Instead of getting the 30 days, they only got 5 days. And of course, what happened after that? The booty clapping most likely was continued, all right? The discipline was lighter than what was required. The issue recommendations does not prevent further incidents. Now, why does this happen? Well, obviously the bus is something that taxpayers pay for. So what we're seeing here is not only did these employees misuse public trust, but so did the officer of the inspector general in the whole Detroit bus system. Again, they were supposed to provide independent accountability, and it didn't happen, right? And so now they're finding out that your female bus driver is cheek clapping it up with the guy that's her boss. That's bad. But there is a larger problem with this whole scenario. You see, guys, we all know that Detroit is a larger city. But let's be real, Detroit is a larger black city. It is still one of the larger black cities left in America, with a historic African-American presence with a lot of culture. And Detroit has been that way forever. However, when we look at what is going on in the city of Detroit for like the last 50 years, what do we see? I'll be honest, you have seen complete incompetence. The Detroit metro area used to be one of the best popping metro areas for Black America, along with Chicago and Atlanta, New York, and LA. But that is no longer the case, right? We've already seen that Detroit a few years ago was bankrupt. It's now coming back, but we can assume that the people in the Detroit bus system, well, let's just be honest. We know what color they are. They are black. And then when you look at the wider context, what are you saying? Well, you're saying that if you allow people from the Black American community to have oversight, we already see the no accountability with the female driver. We already see it with her boss. We already see it with the officer of the inspector general. We are seeing a black operation top down that very well looks like a lot of the other BS that we see in Black America. Let's just take Atlanta, for example.
Atlanta is gentrified because the people in power in City Hall wanted to gentrify. You have black people in power in Atlanta. Let me say it like this, I'm gonna be direct. The black people in City Hall right now are not the black people that built that City Hall. The people who are taking over Maynard Jackson's legacy are not keeping up with Maynard Jackson's legacy. They're there to cash out. They're there to get as much money as they can from real estate developers. They're there to cut deals with themselves after they get into the mayor's office, and whatever people wanted.
Woo! Now I'm using Atlanta as an example because it makes sense here. Why? Well, Atlanta, Georgia is a great city with a lot of opportunities. However, what we see is incompetent leadership and no accountability. It's no different from what you see with Brandon Johnson in Chicago. It's no different from what you see in almost any black community. We see it for what it is, all right? It's the God's honest truth. And this is a big time problem. And I want to preface that because it makes so much sense. Why does the black community continue to have unaccountable leadership top down? All right. And then when you see these situations that happen in black cities, what it does is it really looks bad on the Black American brand. It reinforces a stereotype that if you allow black people in black cities to run stuff, this is what happens, okay? This is something that you would expect to happen in a third world country, all right? You would expect this to happen in some countries in Africa, but you know what? Even you don't see that there.
Woo!
What happened in Detroit is so disgusting. But then if you try to hold these people accountable to that, they will have an excuse. And not only that, I mean, if we want to talk about the guy, the boss, like, well,
is it that serious, fellas? There's no box, there's no cakes worth more than your job. I'm sorry. Sex is undefeated. Maybe he's married too. Ain't getting no cakes at the house. Let's just say he married. We don't know. But I'm going to assume. Married, you see a little young thing. You're willing to lose your job. Willing to put the bus out of service. So now the company can't make money because you trying to get a nut.
Shout out to the brother Marcus Lewis here on YouTube. Check him out. And he makes a great point. You have the bag, right? Like, and men have this issue as it is. But okay, you're her boss. You didn't tell them that you're in a relationship. Cool. But you know that y'all got cameras, right? Like, how dumb do you got to be? You work there. You know they got cameras. You know they got cameras outside the bus. Y'all over there kissing and hugging. They got cameras inside the bus. If you're going to do your cheek clapping, why can't y'all wait until you get off of work? All right? I'm going to line you up as soon as you get off. Even if she's not missing the bus routes and you're her boss, like, you're letting her know, park that bus while you're getting paid and take me to McDonald's. Like, this is what you're telling her, right? Complete buffoonery. But not only that, you're going to lose your job. Not only are you losing your job, you're about to lose a good job. Like, how dumb are you to lose a good job like this? You have to be completely insane to just lose like a city job. Like, you get like full health benefits, 401k, all of this, and it ties back to a larger problem with Black American leadership. Not fit to lead, not responsible, can't do things right. This is not everybody, but this is what you reinforce. When you do stuff like this, then people say, look, if you want to have city officials, don't let them be from our community. You want to have somebody as a supervisor, don't let them be from our community. We have too much evidence that this is what they do. And when you look at black cities, they're going to tie it back to, look at Detroit, look at black Cleveland, look at black St. Louis, look at black Atlanta, look at black New Orleans, okay, look at Mobile, look at Birmingham, look at Jackson, Mississippi, and all those places are poor, all those places are broken down, all those places are corrupt, and black Philadelphia, anywhere you see, Baltimore, DC, look at them. Memphis, look at them. This is what they do. And then people get upset about that stigma in our community, but they can come back and they put these receipts in our face and say, look, what you got to say about there. And again, we got to have some accountability for how we conduct ourselves. Everything is not going to be able to beat with, you know what, we're in leadership and it's racist. What you're saying about us is racist. That used to work. That don't work no more. It's 2026. Nobody wants to fundamentally hear that no more. Nobody cares about that. People are going to want to know, why is a black city with a black office inspector of the general, who I'm pretty sure that's a black person, with a black supervisor role, you guys are not disciplining, holding your employees to accountability. Then it takes somebody else to come out and clean it out. And the person that came out and actually made a statement to look into it was a white person, not a black person. What does that say? Then again, you want to hold white people accountable for what they do. And again, taxpayers' money is a lot of blacks in Detroit. Their money is not being taken care of. Their needs are not being met. Then when they want a white mayor to come into the city, you're going to get mad. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshay Duke Jackson back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Did you for all that you do, scrub the bell? We're out.